The whole wide world will welcome the rising sun. Here comes the time for everyone to see that what will be, will be. This is the time for you and I to stand together as one. Yeah. They will know, they will know. The sun is rising. No one reminiscing the actions I see malice. Blood on the ground, this is how we fly. Our beautiful flag, all around the world. Blood on the ground, this is how we fly. Our beautiful flag, all around the world. We go carry the cross together, we walk through to Zion. The stumble will rise, how the victory will start. They will know, they will know. The sun is rising. From east to west, from north to south. Can't you see the sun is rising?
Wonderful people, great Biafrans, wherever you are, we welcome you to another explosive edition of Radio Biafra presentation this very evening of the 31st day of May in the year of our Most High Elohim 2020. The time now is exactly a minute past the top of the hour. That means it is a minute past 7 p.m. in the glorious land of Biafra, and the same number of minutes wherever you are, regardless of the time zone you are listening to us from. We are coming to you live. We are direct. This is a live presentation. I know that a lot of people, we are shocked that I am once again on air presenting this very evening, but we have a gospel to preach, and we have decided that that very gospel we must preach on this very day. I will encourage you to ask your friends, your neighbors, your relatives, your parents, your siblings, your cousins, and your uncles to gather around their listening devices, wherever they are, to partake and to participate in this very offering this evening. because we are not like any other broadcaster. We are not like any other that you may have come across. We exist in over 80 countries around the world, and in all those places across the length and breadth of this very planet Earth, people are listening to Radio Biafra. Some of you may have joined us via my Facebook page, Mazi Nnamdi, Kanu, and of course, the official one, not the fake one, created by DSS to deflect and to divert attention away from this very monumental work that we are doing to restore our nation. We are on Radio Biafra app. You can receive us via TuneIn app. We are on Simple Radio. We are on Garden Radio, if I'm not mistaken, say Radio Garden, each of the two, or either of the two, I must say. We are also on satellite. Radio Biafra is also on FM in Biafra land. Across all this plethora of platforms, you can and should be able to receive Radio Biafra if you are determined to join us. Once again, I welcome you. And I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to some of you, because we are broadcasting into every time zone around the world. Should you wish to listen to us, you should be able to do so without any hindrance whatsoever. I welcome you. My name is Nnamdi Kanu. I am the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. And by the very special grace of Chukwukika Biama Prumi Henine, a servant of the wonderful people of Biafra. This evening, before we go any further, we are going to pray. We are going to call upon Elohim to direct. Chineke nankusu nile nkendi agha biko mere anyị ebere. Onye anyị ji wee na-eme ọnụ biko mere anyị ebere. N'ihi na ndị anyị ka mma na-achịzi anyị ọchị. Onye nwe m biko nụ. N'ihi na ọ bụghị otu aka isi wee kwado ya. Ọ bụghị otu ahụ ka isi wee buru ya n'obi gbasara ọnọdụ anyị n'elu ụwa. Kama ọ bụ site na amaghị, ọ bụ site na mmehie. Ọ bụ site na arụrụ ala. Ọ bụ site n'ụzọ ihe ọjọọ niile dị iche iche, ajọ mmụọ na ajọ mmadụ. Mere eji wee dịka anyị onwe anyị ọ na-ala asụ nna nke ebere dịka wee na-arịọ gị. Biko nụ, onye ndị mmụọ ozi na-akpụ isi ala nye. Chineke nneze ebube dị ngọzi. Were biko n'ịhụnanya gị na ebere gị wee bịa ka i wee leta anyị, ka iru gị wee chaa n'ebe anyị nọ, ka amara gị wee zuo oke n'ime ndụ anyị, ka anyị bụrụ ndị ga-anọ ndụ n'ala nke ndị dị ndụ, wee hụ Biafra onye nwe m, ka anyị wee fee gị ofe n'ụzọ ziri ezi, wee kpụ isi ala nye gị mgbe niile, wee gaa n'ime ahụ Chukwu nna nke ebere dị ngọzi, dịka o si wee dị na mgbe gboo, wee rụọrụ gị nnukwu eze mgbe dị ngọzi, wee fee ofufe gị ka wee wezi wee kwado. Eze ebere anya gị efe arụsị, anya ga-akpụ isi ala wee nye ihe ọbụla bụ anọkpa ahụ. Anyị anaghị efe ihe nwaanyị mụrụ. Anyị anaghị efe ihe ọbụla nwoke ji aka ya wee gbutu osisi wee pịa. N'ihi na anya onwe anyị na-efe gị. Eze ebube dị ngọzi, bikoro n'ime mmụọ na eziokwu anyị wee na-arịọ gị, wee na-aja gị mma, wee na-eto gị, wee na-asị gị biko tone na nsọpụrụ na ịja mma niile bụrụ nke naanị gị. Onye kere eluigwe na ọgbụgba mụrụ mgbiri na-ebebe ka na-arịọ gị. Ise 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 mma mma dịrị gị Chineke. We have to proceed very speedily and without hesitation to preach this very gospel. Rather unorthodoxly, this very evening, we are going to start in a way that most would not actually expect us to. We want to lay the background upon which everything that is rotten about the zoo is predicated. We want to lay for the whole world to understand that when people talk about the zoo called Nigeria, that when saboteurs are rising up and defending what is in essence the indefensible, that they understand the enormity of the problem confronting the people that inhabit the damnable zoological republic. Our enemies are not sleeping. Therefore, I may choose to come on air every blessed day. If it is warranted, I will do so. Our enemies are not sleeping at all. The devil is not sleeping. The Asabo is not sleeping in our land. All the traitors are not sleeping. Therefore, we shouldn't sleep either. We shouldn't be called sleeping. Our enemies are numerous. They are fighting us in every way possible. We must overwhelm and overcome them. That's what we're going to do this evening. You must listen very, very carefully. Very, very carefully, please. Very, very carefully. We have to preach this very gospel. This is the voice of the real sponsor of Boko Haram. All of you know him. Ali Ndume. Listen, he's a politician. He is a Janjaweed politician. Listen to what he has to say about the zoo. And then from there, we take it on and build and weave the entire structure of this evening program on top of what this man has to say. This very video is everywhere. I am sure some of you may have heard about it before, but not from this perspective, most definitely. I want you to listen, and listen very carefully and attentively. If Facebook is frustrating you, if they kick you out, try and rejoin again. That is what that's what they do all the time. That is their stock in trade. BBC was against us during the war. There was a media blackout on Biafra during the war. We have traced their conspiracy back to the House of Lords in England. Those who don't want the light to shine in Africa, they didn't start today. They've been doing this thing for nearly 320 years. It didn't start today. So what Facebook is doing is not new. What our detractors are doing is not new. The only thing is that our enemies who are within are using the name of Biafra. They are telling you that they are agitators, to deceive, to misdirect your attention. They are doing all of these things in order to delay the coming of Biafra, to please their Janjaweed masters in the north. We have discovered their tricks. We know what they are up to, and we are determined to stop them. And that's what we're going to do every blessed day that we wake up. What we are going to do is to remind them always. And most of them don't understand us. They don't know where we are coming from. They don't know why we say the things we do. They don't know why we agitate the way we agitate. Not only are the politicians bad, Nigerians themselves are also awful. They are the ones who are suffering. They are the ones who are at the receiving end of a primitive Janjaweed misrule. They are the ones who should be rising up to fight for their freedom. But they are the ones over and over again that have decided to fight those who are fighting for their freedom. And I don't want anybody to get discouraged. You cannot afford to be discouraged. We must remain resolute. That is one thing we are known for. Our determination is unquestionable. And that is what we must demonstrate at all times. At all times we must. We are unwavering in our belief that what we are doing is right because of people like this, because of a political system and of a political class that have decided to impoverish their own kind. This is the very essence of a black man's wickedness. If you're wondering how evil and bad a black man is, what this man is saying is a pointer. It tells you all that you need to know about them and why you have saboteurs in our land who are working for the enemy. And proudly so. They are not only working for the enemy, they are proudly working for the enemy. They are. And tomorrow they will come out to complain. But they will not tell you that they are the architect of their own problem. This is a man accused of sponsoring Boko Haram. He is a politician. He is in the zoo. That tells you all you need to know. Now, having listened to that, I want our people to understand that there are only two factors holding us down. Having regard for what this man have just said, there are only two things holding us down as a people and keeping us away from our freedom. That is what we are going to discuss this very evening. If time will permit, our lines will open later on. I will try as much as I can to open our lines, if network permits us. There are two factors holding us down, and that is the reason why it's always very easy for the Janjaweed to kill, to invade, and to divide us at will. To divide us at will. They are not going to change. They will never change. They will always try to divide us. They will try to demoralize us. They will do everything they can to make you feel that what you're doing is not working, but believe you me, we are holding them in a very bad place. That I can assure you. There are two factors holding us down. And that is the reason why the Fulani Janjaweed always find it easy to kill us, to invade, and most importantly, critically, to divide us at will. It didn't start today. The reason why people are sometimes ashamed, or should I say, afraid to say who they are, to use the word Biafra, was because Britain, over 300 years ago, started this very process. When they themselves researched and discovered that indeed we are the children of God in the land of Africa, there to bring light to Africa. That was when Britain started this very concerted effort, both covertly and overtly, to make sure that Biafra does not see the light of day. And this evening I'll prove it to you. I am also trying to make you understand this, that the successive leadership of all Biafran ethnic nationalities have failed, repeatedly I say, failed to address the issue of division, the issue of segregation, the issue of subjugation, the issue of the subversion of the name Biafra. So that when we agitate for Biafra, the world can understand the reason why we are doing so. That our enemies as well can appreciate the reason why we are doing so. Another problem that we have is Igbo man's love for gossip and backbiting. Bitchiness. I didn't say Igbo women, I said Igbo men. The man said that people are merely deceiving themselves. They claim they believe in God. There is nothing godly about them. All they do is to lie and to deceive themselves. And should I say, the headquarters of all these liars and deceivers are in Igbo land. They say Igbo men. It doesn't matter if you call yourself Niger Delta or anything you call yourself. You are your own greatest problem and enemy. When other people are grouping together, seeking to devour you, to invade your land, to take your ancestral homes, you are busy gossiping, envying each other and backbiting. Because that is what the enemy asked you to go and do. To divide the attention. To make sure they don't focus on that very thing that we are doing, which is to come into your land, conquer you, defeat you militarily and politically, and then take over everything that belongs to you. Now listen. This is a story of somebody, because this debate about Niger Delta is still raging. And I'm going to link everything up this evening. From what this Janjaweed said to everything about this whole Niger Delta nonsense. Traitors, saboteurs are hiding under the name Niger Delta to derail Biafra. They are hiding under the name Niger Delta to perpetrate iniquity. They are hiding under the name Niger Delta to get away or to excuse themselves from a responsibility they willingly entered into. Liars and deceivers. That was why I said that anybody man or woman referring to himself or herself as a Niger Delta person, once you have Niger, you have Delta, in anything you are doing, God in heaven knows you are a demon. You are working for the caliphate. That is how you know them. Once they have Niger to their name, or South, Niger Delta, anything that has Delta to it, you know they are working for the Fulani Caliphate. And their job is to distract your attention at this very critical time, is to make you not to see clearly, is to make you not to critically analyze your situation, to make it impossible for you to come together as a people to articulate a solution, or should I say a way out of the mess that you're in. That is why they're in our land. And if you don't know that we are surrounded, we are. We are, apart from Israel. Biafra is the second most hated people in the whole world. People hate Biafrans for no reason. They just see you and they hate you for no reason. They see the blessing of God on your face and they despise you. That is why they have come into our land to take it. And what are their agents doing? Trying to deflect your attention, trying to divert your attention away, trying to make you feel that you have greater problems, that 2023 presidential whatever nonsense election is your priority or should be your priority, that the best way to address the overwhelming invasion of your land is to hope that things will be better in 2023. And by that time, you will no longer exist. You must understand what these people are doing. Somebody wrote something which is quite interesting, which I must read to you. I think I don't have his name. No, his name is Chibike. Is that correct? What is his name? Let me read what he wrote anyway. He said, I come from Otaka community in Obubra. Obubra is in Cross River State. Obubra LGA, local government area of Cross River State. We are about 20,000 inhabitants in population, as the controversial census says. Of course, nobody believes anything coming out of the zoo, according to what Alin Dume said. This is Cross River State, a Cross River indigene. That is why Facebook doesn't want the truth to be told. That is why all of them are ganging up against us, ganging up against what IPOB is doing. But we don't care. We don't give a damn. If they say it's only one person listening, I will preach. Instead of me to preach for 2 hours, I will preach for 3 hours. The more they reduce the number of our listeners, the more I will preach. You think this is 67? You can intimidate? You can use your media blackout as they are slaughtering Biafrans, as our parents are dying on the battlefield trying to defend us. You are busy lying to the whole world. All of you will not tell you. This is something that channels cannot tell you. Punch newspaper can never tell you. All the Yoruba media can never tell you, because they are doing the work of Lucifer. They are working for Satan. They are working for darkness. They can never ever tell you that there are Igbo people in Cross River State. They never tell you that. They can never tell you. Not just in Delta, not just in rivers. Because if you ask Hanese, if you ask anyone, they will say, oh, there are Igbo speak, the 7 Igbo speaking states. Igbo speaking. But there are no Hausa speaking states in the north. No Fula speaking states in the north. No Yoruba speaking states. It's only in our land. They want to divide us. They don't want us to be together. Once you divide the land of Biafra, Elohim departs. His glory cannot be with you. His grace, he will take his grace with him. You are on your own. That's why we are suffering today. So what we're actually doing now is what Ohaneze should have done since 1976. They never did it. These are the elders that they sat down and they saw something that young children cannot see. Isn't it ironic that we have elders and children are now teaching elders their own history? Elders that should be telling us under the moonlight, in the night, what our history is, who we are related to, who are your brothers, who are your cousins, who are your sisters. They didn't do it. It is us, the children, now telling our fathers who we are and who our relatives are. It is a shock and utter abomination. Utter abomination. My goodness. Let me read this to you. Our language is Igbo in Cross River State, in Otaka community, in Obubra, in Cross River State. The language is Igbo language. They speak the same Igbo that some parts of Igbo people are speaking. That's all. And in Otaka village, in Obubura local government area of Cross River State, they have 4 market days. Eke, Ori, Afandongwa. And in Otaka village, in Obubura government area of Cross River State, they circumcise all their male children on the 8th day. They celebrate New Yam Festival. They are called Isobo people. Isobo is the same thing. The same we have in Isoko, in the so-called Delta State. I hope you're following. Not that we want to force anybody to be part of Biafra, but we want to let the God Almighty in heaven know that that assignment that He gave to us, that we must go and locate all His children, shine this light of knowledge of Biafra to them, then let them decide where they wish to belong. They must decide where they wish to belong. That is exactly what we are doing. Some people won't listen, they will keep calling, even when it's not time to do so. That is what Ali Ndume was saying. People who don't listen to very simple instructions. But we must proceed. And proceed we must. Don't please, but if they remove you, you come back in again. That is what Facebook does. It doesn't matter what they do, we are proceeding. We are proceeding with our program this evening. I said, I challenge Facebook to take it down from now 5.9K. Take it down to 100 and I'll still be preaching. Check about who knock on those. We are beyond being demoralized. If you don't know. Otaka community in Obobura government area of Cross River State is Biafra. It is an Igbo territory. They call them the Great Sub-Igbo speaking groups. Domiciled in Niger Delta, that's what they call them. These are Igbo people. They are calling them Niger Delta. And it's even a very good thing that even the pig today came out to say he's an Igbo man. And I said, no wonder. Only an Igbo man can be as stupid as you are. Only an Igbo man can collect money and deny that he didn't collect any. I'm coming to you later on. Only an Igbo man will now deny that you don't know who Uchenna Asiebu is. You are now denying that Uchenna Asiebu never gave you any money. Only an Igbo man will do that and say he's a Niger Delta. Talking rubbish. Only an Igbo man will deny money given to him. Only she a criminal. By day and by night. You deny I never spoke to you. You deny I never sent people to your mansion in Cotonou. I did not speak to you. You don't know who a Dosiem is. You don't know who Abanyim is that came to see you in the republic that I sent to come and see you. You don't know who Zunimike is anymore. You deny speaking to me on the phone. Before you went into that meeting in Cotonou, you deny it. You are an Igbo man, so I'm not surprised. Full of deceit. Did we give you money to protect us at Mpo or not? I'm giving you facts and figures. How much were you given from Mpo? 5 million. I approved it. From Mpo to defend us 2016 at Mpo. The massacre that Amnesty keeps talking about till today. At Mpo. Have you forgotten? You said something was coming. You are the one that went and told the zoo that we have no arms and they came to Paul to slaughter us. It came from you. And you're an Igbo man. I'm not surprised. Now you have agreed that you're an Igbo man. You think I lie here. You don't know. Let me tell you something in my training. I learned something when I did one of those law courses as an elective. Never ask a question you don't have an answer to. I know it was a trap yesterday and you fall into it. I know because I didn't give someone so much details last night that you come out today to say I gave you no money because you think you're smart, but you're foolish. You are very, very foolish. Uchenna said, well, I gave you the money. I want you to do a video. Come out tomorrow and say, Mimi never gave you any money. Come out and do another video because you have no shame. See how a grown-up man is lying. Instead of you to address the issues, I'm just trying to draw. I want the world to know how an Igbo man behaves. That is why that is why Janjaweed that did not go to school is controlling our lives because of this type of selfish, greedy behavior. All of you, your masters are panicking in the caliphate. They maybe have given Yoruba people working for Facebook more money. So please reduce. You forget that people are listening via Radio Biafra app. People in Biafra are listening via FM. People are listening via tuning. People are listening via Sweet Radio. People are listening through country radio. Do you seriously think people are even satellite? You think people are listening to Nnamdi Kanu via Facebook? Is that what you think? People are listening on YouTube. Live channel on YouTube. You don't know that? That's how daft people are. That was why Alim Dume said that not only the politicians, that Nigerians also are stupid. That's what he said. You are denying something. I called you on the phone. You and I had a conversation. My men had a meeting with you in Cotonou. You are denying it. Omiomio sent you money. You are denying it. I doubt you are a militant. I don't think so. You are just there eating pork. Look at how bloated you are. Bloated pigs everywhere. There are the people in the cross. But the Cross River is saying it's not the Delta. It's not. Look, and we keep quiet like fools. If not for IPOB. People, when they talk that rubbish, some of you, you're bami irats. They intimidate you and you run. You just, like a fool, you abandon an argument that you have won by nature. These are your relatives in Cross River, in Delta State, in Rivers, in Akwa Ibom, in Bayelsa. They are your blood relatives. I said blood. Somebody, Janjaweed from somewhere, is on Facebook that leave Cross River and you run away. Some idiots will say to us, can't you make it only Igbo nation? And look at the idiots campaigning for Igbo nation. And I asked them, do you know you have relatives in Benue? Do you know your people are in Cross River? You're talking about Igbo nation of 5 Igbo speaking. You people are daft because you didn't go to school. Some of you are professors, but you know nothing. Absolutely nothing. Are you more Igbo than somebody from Abo? You're from away. Are you more Igbo than somebody from a bank? Igbo, that's the name. Are you more Igbo than somebody from Otaka in Obubra? How are you more Igbo than that person? Is there any center we have in Igbo land? So, as equidistant as you are to that very location, that makes you more Igbo? The answer is no. So, I will ask you again. Can somebody tell me why they will be campaigning for Igbo nation of only 5 states when you have Igbo people in Cross River? Who are they? People, some idiots, they go to Sahara reporters, they be writing nonsense, they be writing garbage, writing pure crap. They're intellectuals. If they just write PhD or LLD, rubbish. Black people. You think having a degree, PhD, SSD gives you common sense? Mad or something. What is that thing? What is it about Biafra that when you go to the UN and you mention the word Biafra, everybody will run away from the room? That was why I knew that Tony was lying. We didn't discuss Biafra. Because if you go to the capitals of the world and discuss Biafra, when they finish dealing with you, if you come outside, you will suffer from typhoid and malaria and convulsion immediately. You ask yourself, but why this hatred for Biafra? What did we actually do anything? They are the ones that killed us, 5 million people. Yet they are afraid of us. That is how I know. When someone says, well, we are lobbying, but I will tell you, you're lying. Because if you go to the UN and call a meeting at the UN and you put on the display board the word Biafra, they will stand up and they will walk out. But that hasn't stopped us, has it? We are still going. Stronger than ever. Stronger than ever. They can't stop us. They can never. And they know it. When people come to you and they're lying to you, I expect our people raised with some gumption to understand that these are agents of darkness. I said something about the pig. A simple trap. I said to him, I gave you 20 million. And I know that being the criminal he is, he will say, oh, no, the candidate did not give me any money. He will not tell you that I instructed Uchenna Asiebu to give him that money. If he was an honorable man, he would have said Uchenna Asiebu gave me money or talk to me about money. Mpo massacre. Do you know who is to blame? It's the pig. We gave him money. He said they will come to protect us at Mpo. They never came. I was in prison. I was weeping. I was crying inside the prison as they were slaughtering our men. And I asked Omiomi, I said to him, where are the things you promised me is coming to Mpo? He said, oh no, that there's somewhere near a head bridge. I said, when are they going to come on board? That men are falling. He ate that money. I sent men to him in Iguacha. He wants me, I will tell the whole world. I sent men to you in Iguacha. You ate the money. You left my men outside. In fact, have you forgotten how many men were arrested in Iguacha and how they were arrested? Who arrested them? Is it not your own boys that we are riding in DSS, what's it called? This is their truck. Pointing out my men in Iguacha. When they went to the place where you said they are going to sleep, was anything there? They were telling me that there's nothing there. Nowhere for them to sleep. Did you ask me to bring money to fence the place or not? To make it more secure? Yes, you're a thief. So I will expose you to the whole world. Did you or did you not ask for more money to build fence? And I said, how about the money that I gave to you? What is it for? Are you going to deny it? Did Uchenna Asiebu send money to you or not? And how many times were you sent money? How many times, since you think you're smart, you are denying I didn't speak to you? And I'm asking you, the meeting we held in your place, I joined by teleconference. 3 of my men were there. I flew them from Europe into Cotonou. Edoziem Abanyum. True or false? Simple question. You're a liar. Just like your counterpart working for the Janjaweed. Nkabu constitution he will office flat file. He won't allow people to speak. Always yapping like a canary. I made allegations against him last night. The only thing he remembered to refute was the 100 naira that Modo talked about. How about the rest? Where in America were you? You claim you are fighting for Biafra. Where in America? Show us a copy of the document you submitted. Till now you've not done it. Or you are trying to do like Femi Adesina. You want to forge it? You want to go to Olowole and tomorrow morning they've opened now. There's no more restriction. So you want to go and forge papers? Bring it out, let's see. It should be in your folder. Just to roll it out. Let's see. You claim you want to talk Biafra in America, yes? Bring out the documents now, let's see. You think you're smart. You claim you also claim that you got me out of prison. Ejiofor today has written. He doesn't know who you are. So I ask you, what do you gain? And then they'll be slaves. And then they'll make he's a Muslim. He's part of them. So he's waiting for them to come. So they'll make him like Afonja. They'll make him the Ijo Caliphate. He will be the Sultan of Ijo. He thinks our people don't know this. That's what he's thinking. Somebody said I should stop exposing them. Who told you? You know who we are? You might come and expose everybody. What knows are you talking about? So in their next life, they will not lie. Every time lies. What? How did I said I will not vote in last election. That's all. And they kicked off. Because he's taking money from his friends in the north. And I'm asking him, can you please, you claim you're militant, can you tell me where you fought battle with Nigerian government before? I have videos of mine. Can you show me a video of you? Show me, tell us the date and time when you fought a peace battle with Nigeria. If not for Henry Yoka, you are nobody. Henry Yoka made you who you are. You were busy stealing oil from doing a bit of bunkering. That's what you were doing. You are nobody. A nobody. No pedigree insofar as freedom fighting is concerned. After taking money from me, you're lying. So you think you don't know how smart our people are. You think that when you say, oh, I gave you, I didn't give any money directly, that they will not reason? I have men outside. IPOB is all over the world. I have men working for IPOB 24/7. Asebu gave you money. Are you going to deny it? Come and do a video and say, Uchenna Asebu never gave me any money. Come out and say it now. Defense fund, he never contributed to. America never contributed to some defense fund. Defense fund we contributed was slightly, it was I think it was about $140,000. Not what we spend in a month in IPOB. And you're talking rubbish. Nonsense. Talking pure crap. So you want me to tell you why defense fund is so you can go and tell your friends. They're going to take it. It's only 140,000. Only. Shame on all of you. Defense fund, our defense fund. You in one December, see how foolish you are. In the same breath, you said I am not an IPOB member. In the same breath, you're saying our defense fund, the one that I gave you and you ate. No wonder your stomach is as big as it is. Fools everywhere. Nnamdi were failed. So-called Igbo leaders, they have failed over the decades, and they'll continue to fail because they cannot see. They are blind. They are blind. They cannot see. Let us look at the gist of our problem, because the pig in the creek, he said, it's the Portuguese that came. They saw the water bubbling, and they called it Biafra. This is how foolish he is. He doesn't even know the history of Biafra. Sometimes I just fold my hands and I'm just looking at them. They're talking rubbish. Do you know the word Biafra is from here? I'm just laughing at them. No research. No thorough examination of anything. No laying out the facts. Just come out and be talking. And so he has heard a Janjaweed or maybe a Yoruba Iraq say Biafra is a Portuguese name. The idiot took it and made a fool of himself. Show me the word Biafra in Portuguese language. I challenge anybody. Go and show it to me. Show it to me. I dare you. Show it to me. And do you know that Biafra is the anglicized version of the original name? Do you know the original name? You know you don't. These are the so-called intellectuals, man. You don't know the meaning of Biafra. You don't know where it came from. You don't know where it's... You have no clue. You have no idea. You have no idea at all, at all, at all. But you're busy yapping nonsense, as always. Yapping crap, always. I will teach you this evening. I am going to look at the BBC wartime correspondent. I said to you yesterday that BBC is evil. I want to prove it to you today. Anything I say, when I push you, I show you where to land. I can't come out to accuse you needlessly. I told you, Tony Nnamdi is I didn't say he's a fraud. I said he's a non-entity. He's a nobody. He's an errand boy for the establishment. I leveled 4 actions against him. All you can think about to defend is Nnamdi Kanu, that criminal. He said he should have seen I didn't support him. Those 100 naira per head every month. All the things I said about him, he couldn't defend. He couldn't defend any of them. You claim you're working for Biafra. All those idiots, you're deceiving. You're the freedom fighter. I said, show me one document with Biafra so they can conquer you. And Yoruba is the one shining the light, the torch. Oh, Hannah playing a torch. Yoruba is pressing torch for Fulani. You don't know that? Yoruba, they are the ones pressing their torch for Fulani to invade. If you think that as a Biafran, if you like BFI, if you like Ibibio, if you like Urobo, once you're a Biafran, they hate you. It is natural. It's like being a Jew. There is nothing you can do about it. You are hated by nature. Do you understand that? Somebody wants to form Lower Aba Congress. Oh, please don't form. Onyemeri is Freeman is called. Please don't form Aba. They want to form Aba Lower Congress. Hey. Ignorance is a disease. Even with your so-called BSc, LLB, BA. It doesn't mean you have anything in your brain. Doesn't mean anything. Listen, they were killing Igbo people. Once your mom ties two-piece wrapper, you are a dead meat. The federal government did not protect our people then. Never protected the Biafrans. Never. That even somebody that was British educated, then he was a Colonel Gowon. But listen to what a white man said. He said that Gowon was a puppet. Like listen, Gowon was a puppet. The true rulers were a group of northern colonels. The cabal did not start today. Fulani cabal did not start yesterday or did not start with the death of Buhari in 2017. It's been there always. It was the cabal that said, because we want to kill Christians from the south, the best thing for us to do is to get a Christian from the north, from the middle belt, and support him to do the killing for us. The same thing they're doing now. Instead of them to come and say, we are coming to take over your land, they said, no, they are resettling. Alamajiri. So that when you're writing to the world and you're saying, but it's Alamajiri. You might be thinking, but what is Alamajiri? They will not tell it is the Fulani people who are coming to forcibly take over your land. That was what they did to Gowon. They said to Gowon, you will go for us. These Igbos, you still, even the middle belt, they were filled with hatred and envy for the Igbo man. Middle belt, all of them. The thing is, they hate for no reason. The only reason why they hated an Igbo man was because an Igbo man was successful. God blessed him. Wherever he goes to, God will bless him. He will do well. He will be a... Don't mind their stinginess and their wickedness. That comes with it as natural as well. But they always did well. They said the zoo is jamming our radio back home. I don't know what is going on. I have no idea. But we're going to get far more superior systems than this. Don't worry about that. They know the gospel is hitting them very hard. They forgot that there will be a replay. People will replay and replay and replay and replay, so they're wasting their time. Don't worry yourself too much about that. They said the radio in Biafra land is down. Is that correct? Our deputy, is that? No, it is going very well from here, so I don't know why it should be down. I don't know. Are you sure it is down, or maybe some Yoruba trying to discourage our people? I do like Yoruba, of course. You know, some Yorubas fought for Biafra. Some Yoruba men fought and died for Biafra. And we remember them. Their heroism and their bravery. Remember all of them. The Yorubas that fought and died for Biafra, we honor them. Those I am against are the traitors. The same way I am against the traitors in Biafra land. The same way I am against traitors in Igbo land. In Ijo land, wherever I see traitors, I attack them. I can't stand them. A traitor should not be alive. They come to you and they pretend they're part of you. Hey, I'm fighting for you. But why are you not talking about the Fulani in our forest? That's when you know who is who. That's when you know who is who. We must continue. They never lifted a finger. They used Gowon. They fronted him to go and do the killing of the Christians. The crisis deepened, and in early 1967, Eastern Nigeria, then our land, the land of Biafra, we sought restitution. Now listen to what the British did. I am going to shock all of you. Now you understand what is happening in Nigeria today is as a direct result of the wickedness of the British government of the time. I want to prove it to you. Listen very carefully. The British organized a Aburi conference. The reason why they organized it was not to find a peaceful solution. So now ask yourself, why would Britain say no to confederation? Because Britain wanted to concentrate power in the hands of the Fulani they know are very foolish, very primitive, they know that very well. That is how they can be taking oil and gas and nobody will bother. All they need to do is to say to Fulani, do you want to remain in power? Fulani will say yes. Then the British will say, we'll continue to take your oil without paying. The reason why there is a place called Nigeria is because the powers that be, those that the people that are called the stakeholders in the zoo, not you animals from Nigeria, no, Europeans. They take oil for free from the zoo, for free. They don't have to pay for it. That is why. So they are afraid. If you elect a sensible, some of you don't know that Jonathan was removed because it was coming to a period of oil licensing renewal. Some of you didn't know that. No, you didn't know. The oil licenses were renewed in 2016. So Jonathan had to be out before 2016. That's how they got rid of him in 2015. So you didn't know that it's our oil. You want us because of our oil. Idiots everywhere. Look at the pig. He doesn't even know. He doesn't know all these things. They said no to Aburi because Britain said to Fulani, do you want to keep on, you want to give you want Britain to hand over Nigeria to you? They said yes. Okay, then say no. Fulani said no. But the same accord you negotiated. Why then are you invading Biafra land and claiming that Biafra seceded? Do you see how they lied to everybody? They went to history books. Oh, secessionist nation, Biafra. You can never go there and see that there was an agreement, an Aburi Accord, that Nigeria broke at the instigation of Britain. The same Britain went and told historians, told geographers, told commentators, Biafra is a secessionist state. Do you see how many enemies you have and how powerful they are? It is not everybody who comes to you and says to you, I am fighting for Biafra, that is fighting for Biafra. Like those idiots, like the idiot, Lower Niger Congress has nobody. It's only one man running from one studio to the other. Only one person. They're promoting him because he sponsors in the music and that's all. A man of integrity and honor. So we are led to believe. But we know what happened at the Biafran Navy sector. You know good that we know, but I'm not going to get into that. And now you understand. Some of you are so easy to deceive. Any idiots can come out one day and say, I'm for Biafra. The next thing you hear is, oh, why don't you all cooperate together? Because we don't know anything. We don't know it. We don't reason. Anybody can come out now. So you don't know that the zoo, the Janjaweed can sponsor people. It is called Osho Propagator. You don't know they can sponsor people to come and be pretending they're fighting for Biafra? Just to be giving them information. Don't you know that? How come your brain? So anybody who gets up in the morning and says, oh yeah, I'm fighting for Biafra, I'm here. The next rubbish you will hear is, oh, why don't all of you cooperate together? Oh dear me. We must continue. Frederick Forsyth went on to say that it was the killings of our people and the failure of Aburi that led Ojukwu to declare Biafra 53 years ago. Yesterday. He said, to this very day, I have come to attest to the true meaning of this Niger Delta. It is not a language that is known to any of us. None whatsoever. But it was an English word. The word Niger is the anglicized version of the Latin word niger, which means black. Because when I explain something, I explain it right to the source. I don't cut it from the middle. Niger is anglicized version of nigger, black. That's what it means. So the correct word is Niger Delta, if you want. Niger Delta, is that your name? And anybody say, oh, the Niger Delta is your name. Are you a nigger? Are you a nigger? Answer me. Because if you are, we'll start calling you niggers then. Because Niger is the English version of nigger, which is Latin for black. Is it making sense? Is your stupidity now becoming a little bit clearer? Just a little bit. The Delta region. And I have asked you many times, there is a Delta region in Mississippi in America. Are you related to them? There is a Delta region in I saw one here, and I think she's from, I don't know where she's from. Her face wasn't very happy. Because in the interview, of course, they asked me why they call Nigeria zoo, and I explained the meaning to them. And the Igbo girl was saying, yeah. Then that's true. That Nigeria is a zoo. Who doesn't know that? Only a fool. Forsyth said, listen, I arrived in Biafra capital in Enugu on the 3rd day of the war. In London, I had been copiously briefed by Gerald Waters, the head of the BBC West Africa Service. BBC, oh, please listen, BBC. What I did not know was that he was the obedient servant of the government's Commonwealth Relations Office, which later metamorphosed into the FCO, which believed every word of its High Commissioner in Lagos. I want you to listen. After today, you will not doubt anything I tell you in life. You can never, I can't lie. I'm not asking. God is my witness, I don't lie. What for? Are you going to beat me? If I tell you the truth, can you do anything to me? The answer is no. So I tell you the truth. Remember, all these years I've been telling you that the ambassadors they have in Nigeria never relay the truth back home. They never do. And here is a proof. As far back as 1967, when Igbo people were being slaughtered in the north, by which I mean Biafrans, when Biafra was under siege, when Gowon reneged on Aburi, the British High Commissioner in Lagos was relaying only lies back to London. He's here from Frederick Forsyth. He's a white man. He's an old man now, but a courageous one at that. Listen up. What I did not know was that this man called Gerald Waters was an obedient servant of the government's Commonwealth Office, which believed every word the British High Commissioner in Lagos, David Hunt, was feeding them. It took 2 days in Enugu to realize that everything I had been told was utter garbage. Everything the British government was saying about Biafra, everything the BBC was telling people was a lie. Do you see why I hate the BBC? Do you see why I feel? So Nnamdi they claim he's an intellectual, so he doesn't know all these things. Why wouldn't Nnamdi or any sensible person, having known all these things, accept to go to BBC on the 30th of May? Why would they can't come to us. They know they can't. They've come before, we tell them to go to hell. Now do you understand? And the world they went there, couldn't ask BBC, why were you complicit in the death of our people? He was talking about 100 naira a month to rebuild maybe a new airport, I don't know. You see BBC? Now you believe me when I tell you that once you're a high commissioner, they didn't start today. Once you're an ambassador to Nigeria, the first thing they do is that they treat you well and give you as much money as you want. Right now as we speak, if not for the work that IPOB did in America, the work that the concerned Christians did in the Middle Belt, nobody would know what is happening in the zoo. Nobody would know. Nobody would know. Do you know why? American ambassador has been, America, USA, bribed. EU, bribed. Britain, I said bribed, given solid cash, not to report the truth from Nigeria. They don't know what is happening. Ask yourself. People dying every day, accidental shooting, accidental discharge, everywhere, bombs going off, killings everywhere. Have you seen it on BBC News? Have you seen it on CNN? The videos covering the death? No. No. Now play with us. BBC, what? I'm not blaming BBC. First, down to something, man. BBC, my Facebook, calendar, all the same people. Reduce it now. Why are you leaving me at 6.4? Reduce it to only 2 people. And you see if I will stop or if I will continue. Mad people everywhere. You are playing, you don't know where IPOB. These things you are doing, you think it can frustrate us? You must be daft. Very daft indeed. We must continue. We must continue what we are saying. BBC is evil in every way. Every ambassador sent to the zoo, they have must not be. And what is the reason for that? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. That is how deadly the world is. And that is why I am bringing you this very gospel today. A gospel of heaven. I'm telling you the truth. They can't dispute what I'm saying. Nobody in their right mind can dispute what I'm saying. These are historical facts. Historical facts. They don't want Biafra to emerge as the Bulgarians told Chief Justice P.K. Wokedi of blessed memory. You know what they told P.K. Wokedi? They said to P.K. Wokedi, one Japan is enough. P.K. Wokedi went to go and ask for help. They said one Japan is enough. We don't want another Japan in the world. They were referring to Biafra. When our kids invent something, you will expect white people to be happy, but they are not. How can niggers be producing machine? You think they're happy with Biafra? That is why when somebody goes out, when I see somebody fighting for Biafra, I know the frustrations you will encounter if you're not made of the right stuff, so to speak. You will give up. You think when our kids build toys that they're happy? No, Fulani is not happy. Yoruba is not happy now. Hey! Because for Yoruba, his greatest achievement in life is that he has a higher position than an Igbo man. That's all. It doesn't matter what the Fulanis are doing. Yoruba is okay with it. The only problem Yoruba has is an Igbo man beneath me? That's all. People don't know the meaning of Biafra. I look at them and I laugh. I say, do you know what you're fighting for? Do you think this? Oh, but when is this Biafra coming? When is it coming? You're talking too much. Oh. You should come down and start fighting. Oh, dear me. The worst war you can fight is one in which you're not prepared. The invasion of Biafra land took the Janjaweed nearly 40 years to plan. 40 years. The conquest, this conquest is executing now, 40 years to plan. They have the war chest. Their war chest now stands at nearly 22 billion US dollars. That is the final war chest to maintain their hegemony. An Igbo man cannot bring out $100,000. It's impossible. Instead, he can't take his village. Instead of an Igbo man to bring out $100,000 to defend his land, it's better for you to go and take his village. And that's why the Fulanis have come. They know Igbo, there is no way an Igbo man can bring out money to buy weapons. It's impossible now. They know it. That's why they have come. And as they have come, they gave you the tractors like the pig from the creek, the idiot of Upper Niger, what rubbish is called, to be confusing you. Oh, you are doing something. Oh, can you, Janjaweed and your village, oh, can you see this constitution? Here, it says the preamble. What's up with that? You're talking about preamble in constitution. Preamble. Oh, dear me. We must continue. We are live and direct. The whole world is listening. Mankind is at attention. This is Radio Biafra. When we preach, everywhere comes to a standstill. Then they know it's the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. Go, come home and fight now. Come on, idiots. Mandela went on exile. George Washington went on. Everybody. Jesus Christ on exile. Moses on exile. Prophet Muhammad on exile. They don't, because they don't go to school. They don't read. They know nothing. As soon as they graduate, they call them from a politician will call them 3,000 naira a week. Irat. They say, all correct, sir. All correct. After doing cultism in school, they come in and start yapping rubbish. They don't know history. That just like the Greek pig, he doesn't know history. Biafra is a mouth, is a confluence of River Nun, and River Nun met River Cross, and the water was turning, and it's Biafra. Look at the idiot. Look at what is coming out of the idiot's mouth. So you go for an interview, they ask you, oh, this is Biafra you're fighting for. Well, what does it actually mean? He says, yeah, the river came, it's from River Nun to Gabon, and the water was swimming, and the Portuguese saw it, and the name is Biafra. Hey! Arrow. Let me tell you what is happening. Listen very carefully, please. Listen very, very carefully. My brief was to report the all-conquering Nigerian army according to foresight. It did not happen. It did not happen. Naively, I filed this. When my report was broadcast, our High Commissioner complained to the Foreign Office because... So you have rejected the British propaganda. This very article is there, it's in the open. Everybody can read it. Instead of Hanez and Dioshi, the so-called intelligentsia, all those idiots, they call the idiots, they call elite. Instead of them to go and read all these things, arm themselves with the facts and figures, then go outside and preach Biafra. They won't do it. It was you hurry up for 2023 is round the corner. They think they're talking to fools. They think we don't have any brain. They think we know nothing. That's what they actually think. So if you say presidency is around the corner, an idiot will start jumping and campaigning and will vote for the fool. But this is corruption this year. Do as I tell you, God is my witness. If you do exactly as I tell you, we'll bring the zoo down in 2020. Do what I ask you to do. Not when I ask you to do something, you don't do it. I start asking me, which is what Sabo do. Ask Sabo to do. Sabo will not do it. And then he'll come and ask you, but you said Biafra is going to come. But that thing you ask Sabo to do, Sabo will not do it. Never. That's who they are. That is the way they are. It was BBC. The obliteration of the Igbo race was the priority of the British. And they prepared the Fulani Janjaweed to carry it out for them. What I find shocking is that Biafran men who should have recognized this danger from time, they have all abandoned their duty to listen to gossip from traitors, to listen to people like Tony Nnamdi that has nothing upstairs. Absolutely nothing. Done nothing for Biafra. Nothing. Afraid to use the word Biafra. Afraid. And is fighting for Biafra through Lower Niger. So I can fight for Biafra now through lower Ojeta stream. You're not proud of who you are. And you claim you're fighting for me. By lying. Wherever I go to, you go to. By lying against me. I don't know who you are. I've not done anything with you before. And you're lying against me. Because you're working for the enemy. And your days are numbered, I assure you. Your days are numbered. Come to Biafra land now. You can't do that nonsense in Abuja in Lagos. Just jumping up and down like a canary. That's nothing. Come to Biafra land. Within 24 hours, you'll be eaten alive. Your flesh will be torn off your bones. You'll be eaten alive. Because you're an evil man. You must tell the world that thing I stole from you. You must tell the world who I scammed. Because we have IPOB all over the world. You're calling it a franchise. All over the world. How do we get our people to understand what we are doing? Do you know the meaning of the word franchise? Do you know the meaning of the word franchise? I'm asking you. So when ANC was fighting, people were protesting all over the world. Is franchise? Kai. Okay, All you liars and workers of iniquity, it shall never be well with all of you. Never. Do what I ask you to do and Biafra will come. Just do it and see what will happen. The answer relaxing. Let COVID-19 finish. I will come with fire and brim. You see that as a rock? It will melt before your eyes. I will so much disgrace Nigeria. The way I will disgrace Nigeria. Oh, Chineke, the way if they see a Nigerian, they will deport the idiot. Once you say a Nigerian, you'll be deported. I'm telling you the truth. How I will disgrace Nigeria. Any ear that hears it in a million years to come will say God was with them. I'm telling you the truth. Let COVID-19 finish. All that nonsense. Today, the boy is light skinned. Tomorrow, they're not quite sure of his color. The other day, he's a 45-year-old. Another one is a 22. Nobody knows what's happening. All that game, idiots. All that game that Yoruba is helping the Fulani to be protecting. That you know Asarok is empty. Every idiot. I didn't say reasonable people. Because if you're they are hiding in Lagos. They have not seen all the Photoshop pictures. Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling me? Useless fools everywhere. Mad people. Listen, maybe. Everywhere. Everywhere. But things changed. British covert interference. Britain started to work for the zoo because Nigeria could not defeat Biafra. This is according to a white man. Nigeria could not defeat Biafra, and because of that, Britain got upset. Britain was very, very upset. They started to interfere in the war. They started to advise the Janjaweed from the north. They started to supply them with weapons. Contrary to the agreement, Britain started to give weapons to go on. Fresh weapons to go on. Britain now set up an advisory committee. That was why I said that the Biafra War was the Third World War. That is what I was expecting. That was what I expected Nnamdi to say yesterday. Biafra War was the Third World War. Britain could not fight Biafra direct. They used the Fulanese and the Yorubas, the gullible Yorubas, to fight Biafra. It is here in secret papers from Britain. Britain fought Biafra, not Nigeria. Someone say Nigeria is the one. You are talking rubbish. It was Britain. It is here. Official government papers, official British papers from a British war correspondent. Britain gave military support advisors to Nigeria, the same way that Britain gave advice to the Jordanian army to defeat Israel in 1947. Britain, I don't know if Britain has been programmed to fight the children of God everywhere. I don't know why. They have that in them. The entire officer class of the Jordanian army in 1947-1948 were made up of the British just to kill Israel. Are you aware of that? The same thing that Britain did. But do you know why they succeeded? Britain succeeded because of the template we used during the war. Chukwu Gikabiama was not ready. Now he's ready. Just do as we tell you and watch miracle happen before your eyes. Just do as you're told. Britain was now fighting the war using Hausa, no, using Fulani, I will say, and Yoruba. I remember what I told you. All that Yoruba wants in life is for an Igbo man to be beneath. That is all. That is the ambition. No other ambition is, am I doing better than an Igbo man? That is their only ambition in life. And that is the truth. According to Frederick Forsyth, Britain set up a war advisory team for the Nigerian army. They inched into Biafra land, and we fought and pushed them back. Now, Britain could not win the war on its own using Fulani and Yoruba media propaganda and lies. They now went to Russia to go and beg Russia. Russia brought in what is called the illusion bombers used in the Second World War. Russia deployed in that tiny Biafra, that same small Biafra, that small Biafra. Britain came to support Janjaweed and the Yoruba. Britain could not defeat Biafra. They went to Russia to go and bring Russia to join them, to help them to fight. Biafra war was the Third World War. I want to educate the world to know what happened. Something the pig in the creek doesn't know. They brought Russian bomber illusion. They were dropping 1,000-pound bombs on the villages of Biafra land. Russians were bombing on Russia. Now ask me, how did we offend Russia? In what way? Somebody should tell me. Did we ever offend Russia? How? Why would Russia come to an impoverished, poor African country and be dropping bombs on them? And mind you, at that time was the height of the Cold War. Russia was fighting Cold War with Britain. Ask yourself this question. What would cause two enemies, Britain and Russia, in the Cold War, to now come together to go and fight one small, tiny, impoverished African country? As any day you answer that question, I know you're intelligent. Have you asked yourself that question? Why would Britain make peace with Russia to go and kill black Africans? Because Biafra is special. Now you understand. Let's continue. Russians were dropping bombs in our villages. We did nothing to Russia. We don't know who they are. They are like LNC. This Lower Niger people. We don't know who they are. Starvation. Death by starvation. BBC never reported it. The same way they are not reporting the Janjaweed invading our land today. You ask BBC, but I went to Soka and we asked them, they said it's one village fighting another, as if we are foolish. BBC, but you are telling us that we are dumb, we have no brain. That what we are seeing every day would have... Oh, Chineke, BBC. Hey, BBC. The British public never knew. The British public did not know because the BBC failed to report the truth. British Broadcasting Corporation. Why did they not report the truth? Because the UK public would have asked them, what are you doing about this? BBC was working hand in hand with the government to cover a Holocaust. If our people working for BBC had any shame, they would resign tonight. They had any honor. BBC was evil. Evil. They are part of our problem as a race. We must continue. The people in England now discovered there were now questions in the House of Commons. A conservative MP, out of anger, named the child Biafra. Out of anger, a British lawmaker named the child Biafra. John Lennon was upset, returned his OBE. John Lennon, the famous John Lennon of Beatles, said, no, this is evil. It wasn't done by the BBC. This one was done by the Daily Express, a newspaper. Now you know who your enemies are. Go and talk about Biafra now at the UN. You know what will happen to you if they won't poison you there. They know what you don't know, that God loves you. You are the chosen children of God, the children of light. That is why Yoruba will envy you. They know God loves you. God blessed you from your mother's womb. They know this. Everybody in Africa, they know. That is why Yoruba's height of achievement in life is to see a subdued Igbo man, and the Igbo man is happy. Because a Yoruba man knows what you don't know. A Yoruba man knows that you are blessed. He knows that God, he knows you're a special talent. And subduing you is the highest achievement of a Yoruba man in life. As the resident guide to foreign news teams, I became somewhat overwhelmed. The World Council of Churches helped to buy some stupid aircraft. And Portugal helped. Portugal. They helped. God will bless them. And all the people that came that flew the aircraft. There was even one called Jesus Christ Airlines. Oh dear. The people that brought us Jesus Christ killed us. And that is what I find very funny with the British. They colonized us and gave us Bible and Christianity. Yet they supported the Muslims to kill Christians. The irony of the whole thing is just laughable. Honestly speaking, it's just laughable. Oh dear me, laughable. Facebook is trying their best, but we'll replay it over and over again. It will be replayed. Britain gave us Bible, no? Jesus Christ said this, if they slap you here, talking aside, Jesus Christ says, love one another, love your neighbor. The same people that gave us the Bible, St. Andrews, St. Matthew's Church, St. Frederick, St. Agnes. They joined the people answering Abu Bakr, answering Mustafa, answering Abdul Muttalib to kill Christians. Jesus Christ Airlines. Oh dear. Black, Monsieur G. Black people, black. God forbid. Such stupidity is unbelievable. On a visit to London in the spring of 1969, I learned the efforts of the British establishment, the entire British government. They said we must kill Biafra. They organized themselves to say we'll kill Biafra. Every reporter, every journalist, every peer, every parliamentarian, every member of the House of Lords, every member of the House of Commons who had visited Biafra and reported on what they had seen is empty, that Buhari is dead, yet they are covering it up. Ask yourself why. Ask yourself why. They know Aisha is now in charge of the zoo. Ask yourself why they are allowing such travesty to obtain. Ask yourself, what is Yoruba gaining? What is it that Yoruba can say we are gaining from Nigeria? What is that thing that will make them support Nigeria? Because of their hatred for Igbo man. That's all. If not, then tell me what else. Give me a reason why they want one Nigeria to. I know why Fulani wants one Nigeria. Fulani, they need access to oil because they are lazy, they are primitive. Apart from cattle, they know nothing. I asked you before, how many Fulani scientists have you seen? How many doctors have you seen from Fulani land? Why do you think they always go outside to contract outsiders to come and do work in the zoo? Because they said it from the beginning. Biafrans are smart. We don't want them to building bridges for us. They don't want it because it will make them look bad. That is the truth. What time is it? I don't want to exceed. It's just gone past 2 hours. I must quickly proceed. I wanted to teach something slightly small about the pig in the creek and his nonsensical offerings about Biafra and the origin of Biafra. He's a bite of a jaw to tell you how dumb and how foolish he is. He doesn't know anything about Biafra. I want to school him. There are 3 names for Biafra. No, 4 actually, 4 names. One is called Biafra. I've said this many times, listen. B-I-A-F-A-R, Biafra. One is called Biafraese. One is called Biafra, Afara, where I come from. I'll publish all these things later. Where I come from, Afara. B-I-A-F-A-R-A, Biafra. There is Biafra. He doesn't know all these things. He said it's from River None to River Fernando Po, talking rubbish. But I want to let him know that the Biafra people, or should I say kingdom, was in the Cameroons. located in the Cameroons. The same Biafra. What he doesn't know is when I tell you something, I substantiate it with historical facts. Facts. Indisputable. Allow me to teach this once again tonight, and perhaps for the final time. I will make reference to it now and again. Please. The pig from the creek, in attempting to play the role of a go-on for the caliphate, because they're using him, unless you can see, you don't know the caliphate, they're using him, of course. Anybody comes and leave him now, let him, the person is one of them. The pig in the creek. He decided to try to show that he's an intellectual. He mentioned Chief Frank Opigo, that we all respect and revere very much, and a German that knew more than Ojukwu, that our name was Biafra, and he gave Ojukwu the reason why we should, not because of Battle of Biafra, no. He didn't know that Frank Opigo was a historian. He was the principal of Okrika Grammar School, one of the best schools you have in Biafra land, secondary school wise, of course. He didn't know that. So he thought Frank Opigo was like him, a tout who did maybe a bit of oil bunkering when he was about to sell kerosene to fellow smugglers. He saw somewhere and said, oh, the Portuguese saw water moving and said, oh, it's Biafra. This idiot doesn't know the pig in the creek. He does not know that Frank Opigo was a historian. And what did Chief Frank Opigo discover? He recommended the name not because it's an John distributory or estuary, no, because he knew what our name was. Facebook is not happy about this, but I'll tell you. I want to bury his ignorance tonight, completely and totally. I want to bury the ignorance of the pig in the creek. I want to bury his ignorance about Biafra this night. So next time he will not talk rubbish. I sequencing one after the other. So you understand what I'm saying. Listen carefully, please. The conspiracy did not... You see what the British are doing? It didn't start today. The conspiracy against Biafra goes back almost 300 years, starting from the Portuguese. Starting from Portuguese. It was a Jewish man with the Portuguese that recognized that this is also part of the Jewish family. There was a map drawn up by Robertson. I know Facebook is going mad by this time. Here we teach history. However, there was a man called Duet Pacheco Pereira who lived from 1460 to 1533. 1460 to 1533. He wrote papers that after his death were published as a collection called the Esmeralda. I want the pig to learn history, not rubbish. I teach you history for free. And as I'm teaching you, I'm giving you references. That is why the name Biafra is sacred to IPOB. None of you know, you don't know nothing about Biafra. You know nothing about it. All of you. Tonight I teach you what it means to be a Biafran. He wrote papers. He lived from 1460 to 1533. Those papers were called Esmeralda. It included writings on Africa and the Americas, and they were published. Even before Christopher Columbus claimed he went and discovered America, the Portuguese royal court were discussing Biafra. Duarte wrote, I'm sure the pronunciation is right, wrote in his Portuguese letters that the channel of the river, the pilot, the coastline of the land coming out into the sea, he gave the latitude to be 11 degrees north of the equator. Now, if you look at 11 degrees north of the equator, which has changed over the years due to advancements in mapping and GPS, this coordination takes us now into the north central Nigeria, which is Idoma land. Are you listening to me? This is from Portuguese archives, scientific papers that the pig doesn't know about. You don't know what Biafra is. It's a Portuguese name. I look at the fools and I laugh at them. They know nothing. Absolutely nothing. They said that this place is the confluence at Oman, this very confluence where the water comes together, Benue River and Niger River. Elohim. So the land from Kogi down, as I have told you, Igala land. Hey, Chineke Nonyabara, a Portuguese writer, Duarte. His name is spelled D-U-A-R-T-E. The inhabitants of this country, they are called Biafraes. The spelling is B-E-A-F-A-R-E-S. How Unukelem Chineke Nabinigwe? They wrote the same boundary that I told you. I told you Igala land is Biafra. I told you that Idoma land is Biafra, which is Lower Benue. I told you that was exactly the same place that God Almighty in heaven stopped the advancement of the armies of the north under Queen Amina in Zaria almost 300 years ago. Did I not tell you that? An idiot will tell me about map. They have not read. The LS they have not been to any library. They have not done any research. People talk rubbish. They don't know what they are talking about. They don't know what Biafra means. They don't know how deep Biafra is in the spiritual realm. They have no idea. That is why Facebook is mad now. They are crazy. But I must preach the gospel of heaven. Elohim gave me a mandate to preach. And that is exactly what I'm doing. A message from heaven to the living. Indisputable. Geography, history, politics, government, all weaved into one. Religion as well. That it. Kogi State or Benue, from where I told you, Igala land, Idoma land is Biafra. Even according to the Portuguese, they called it Biafra, yes. And we are subject of the king of the Mandingos. They were very black and many were naked and others wore cotton cloth. Hey, oh my goodness, they even bought some slaves from there. Why Elohim is angry with us. That is why a lot of people claim that Biafra is Portuguese name, because this Portuguese writer Duarte wrote about it. But when they came, they couldn't pronounce our name properly, which was Biafra. Afara, my village. They named it Biafraes. So the land from Kogi down to the Atlantic is Biafra. Duarte wrote that the island at the mouth of this bay, being the bight of which is Bonny, and the mainland. Now listen very carefully. They have 5. He described everything. The British decided to divide us and started to call us funny names like Niger Delta. That was how it came about. If you don't know, because the British were afraid of the word Biafra. The Biafra, when they hear it, it reminds them of the glory and the might of black people. It reminded the British of the promise that God made to black people. And the only way to keep black people down all over the world is to keep Biafra down, and that is a fact of life. That is something that we know. That is something that the whole world knows. And that is something that they are trying to keep away from you. That even when the British came with the Royal Niger Company or whatever it is. Now listen very carefully. I want to educate our people. The Royal Niger Company came, they combined their functions, this is from English Encyclopedia, please. I want to read this thing for you. Its trading prowess opened up the territories of several communities and nations with which European trade had previously been only indirect. They mentioned the Urobos, Ukwani, which is Igbo, of course, Ibibio, and Igbo in Niger Delta. You want me to repeat that? This is the British. Hey, Is the pig listening? All your upper lower, upper Niger, are you listening to what I'm preaching this night? I'll read it again. Urobo, Ukwani, Ibibio, and Ibo in Niger Delta. I think on that note, I'll bring this program to a close. I bring it to a close because we have preached this very gospel this evening, and Elohim is with us. Let no idiot come and tell you rubbish about Biafra. I will publish the maps very soon, if not tonight, tomorrow morning. All the maps we have, Biafra, as the names are changing. And let me tell you why I would bring, or Elohim will bring Biafra in my time. Do you know why? Now, I want you to go to sleep with this. Our name is Biafra, which is B-I-A-F-A-R-A. My name of my village. If you take away B-I, which is the calling, you have Afara left, which is where I come from. And that is not a Portuguese name. It's a Biafran name. Afara. Afara means come and join. That's the meaning of it. So Biafra means simply come and join. Are you listening? I'll publish the map. So our names have gone from Biafra, which signifies our trip from the Afar region of Ethiopia, which is why we have light-skinned people in Biafra land and no other place in the coast of West Africa. They're all black as charcoal. Only Biafrans are light. Only a Biafran woman can give birth to somebody who is white, almost white. That's why we are light-skinned. The Fulanis got their light skin by, in those days, prostituting themselves to the Moors, to the Arabs. That's how it's a mongrel race, if you don't know. We got ours on our sojourn through Ethiopia. And our name followed us, Biafra, B-I-A-F-R-A. And you know the funniest thing, this Afar region of Ethiopia has been taken over by Islam. Isn't it funny that Islam is now coming to also take over the land of Biafra? Isn't it funny? Very strange. Our name changed from Biafra to Biafraese, which was a corrupt version of Biafra. Afara is where I come from. And you know how I know that that is correct? Because that was where Biafra ended. Temporarily, that is. The last headquarters from where Ojukwu took off to Ivory Coast is in my village. In my compound. It's called Okwola Isiokwe, where you have Ojukwu bunker that BBC went to. Okwola Isiokwe means the very beginning of the people. Okwola means the very first place of that people. That was the last headquarters of Biafra, and from there Biafra will rise once again. I thank you very much for listening. As always, we have demonstrated without any shred of doubt that Biafra is our religion.
Life's in pain and misery. Never gonna trade our freedom with any mystery. It's affecting our soul and it's killing us slow. With what we've been through, we are far from being good, but we are blessed by Chukobika Bialma. So we're never gonna give up. We're never gonna give up. There'll be light in the end of the tunnel. You to shine so bright all time. The whole wide world will embrace us. Nobody can stop us, nobody can cage us, nobody can stand us, yeah. They will know, they will know. The sun is rising. From east to west, from north to south. Can't you see the sun is rising? Oh, you wave your flag and be proud of who you are. Because the sun is rising. We're shining so bright all over the world. We are the sun, we are rising. The windows and curtains, green lights be revealing. When I think about how blessed we are, goosebumps all over my body. Sunrise to the clock strike, black strands crossing gray stripes. Clashes upon clashes, many lives come to ashes. When I ponder and reminisce, the actions I see malice. Blood on the ground, this is how we fly. Our beautiful flag, all around the world. Blood on the ground, this is how we fly. Our beautiful flag, all around the world. We go carry the cross together, we walk through to Zion. We stumble, we'll rise. How the victory was done. Never know, never know. From east to west, from north to south. Can't you see the sun is rising? I still wave your flag all over the world. Because the sun is rising. I still be shining so bright all over the world. We are the sun, we are rising. They would know, they would know, they would know. Keep our light shine, the sun is rising. Wave your flag anywhere you want. Keep our light shine, the sun is rising. Oh, keep our light shine, the sun is rising. Freedom, freedom, yeah. Shine the sun, we are rising. Oh yeah. There comes a time. The whole wide world will welcome the rising sun. Here comes the time for everyone to see that what will be, will be. This is the time for you and I to stand together as one. Yeah. They will know, they will know. The sun is rising. From east to west, from north to south. Can't you see the sun is rising? Oh, you wave your flag and be proud of who you are. Because the sun is rising. We shining so bright all over the world. We are the sun, we are rising. We spent our lives in pain and misery. Never gonna trade our freedom with any mystery. It's affecting our soul and it's killing us slow. With what we've been through, we are far from being good. But we are blessed by Biafra. So we